Yes, I am. Got a lot to give to you, girl. Take me as I am. Let everybody get into position, session, time for collision, just in case anybody's asking, them call me Mr. Romantic, climb myself to make it rich. Righteous, let's say I did preach. Totally, you compliment me. Said now you in my eyes, don't stick to girl. Take me as I am. Got a lot to give to you, girl. Take me as I am. Yo, I really do so many damn things for you. Feeling inside, I ain't no feet to let go. Yeah, anywhere that you go, I just on the home for you. Do you hear me? Oh no no, do you hear me? Stay clear. Stay clear, yeah. Stay clear, yeah. Take me as I am. Got a lot to give to you, girl. Take me as I am. Take me as I am. Got a lot to give to you, girl. Take me as I am.
Hello guys, welcome to Boxing Blog Center, the home of Nigerian African boxing. And please, if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the like and of course the subscribe button right now. Listen guys, go check out my bro's EP, the hottest EP right now in town. Efosa, he just dropped his EP yesterday, and believe you me, you will never forget it because the guy is super talented. So make gonna support my brother. I'm gonna talk about Efosa, man. This guy did very talented. You know, the way he mixed Afrobeat, you know, with hip hop, with UK grime music. He mixed all of them together in a way and create a unique sound. I'm not just saying it because he's Nigerian. I'm just saying it because I see talent there. Guy was born in the UK, but it's just interesting to see how he mixed pidgin with, you know, with the lingo, British lingo there, and many things that, you know, you have to be amazed. Nigerians are talented, you know already. So check this guy out. In fact, this is his music I'm playing right now, by the way. I've been bumping his EP since money. So make una support our brother right here. Go check out his music right now. The guy don't pay me or anything, you understand, but I support our, you know already now. Me, I support our Nigerian brothers now, worldwide, bro. Now let's get to it right now. I've got our brothers in the house. By the way, this is gonna be a very hot topic, or hot subject, because I've got so many things to say. At the same time, you know, I've got to be very careful because right now, but I have to say that what I'm seeing right now, what I'm seeing from Team Joshua, I'm seeing positivity. I'm seeing Joshua is really taking this training serious. In America, Joshua has had no sleep. Joshua hasn't slept for over 5 hours since losing to Usyk. That says a lot, because this guy Joshua is always active, always learning. But this time around, he wants his belts back in blood. You know, same way as Deontay Wilder. Listen, let's tell you guys that Joshua and Wilder, they have so many things in common, okay? Of course, you know, if you're a super fan of Joshua, you might not like Wilder. If you're a super fan of Wilder, you might not like Joshua. That is why we that are super fans of both of them, you know, so let me that I'm a big fan of African Nigerian boxers, fighters of African heritage that, you know, that identify with us, you know. So I'm a big fan of Water and Joshua, and I don't hate any of them. I don't love one over another. The same way I don't love Ajagba over Joshua. But Ajagba is, I'm more equated with Ajagba. I would never love any other Nigerian or African over another. That's just my mentality. Some of you guys who don't have that mentality, you tend to like think, oh, you must love one over another. No, man, we don't do this right here, man. No, Africa is one, no division right here. This is why I always appreciate unity. And some of you guys find it very interesting. Say, whoa, BBC, you're supposed to talk about this one. Bro, we don't do all those blaming people, like all those blaming people. Like, man, it doesn't really make sense. Because at the end of the day, we all have to be strategic, especially when we are dealing with some deep issues, So, but I do understand you guys' concern. I know what you guys feel. I know how you guys feel. But sometimes you gotta just let it slide and, keep on moving and embrace love. I'm very, very glad to see Anthony Joshua wanting his belts back in blood. And we're also going to be discussing about my team, Man United. That we got humiliated by Liverpool. And of course, we are going to be discussing about Efe, the one Efe Ajagba, his mindset and mentality, where he is right now, what's going on with Ajagba, and him coming back, for blood as well against Frank Sanchez. Of course, you might have the opinion and say, well, maybe Ajagba should not fight Sanchez, maybe because Sanchez is too skillful. Like, no. I believe Ajagba had that fight in him. It's just that he didn't push forward when he needed to. And one of the things we're going to look at as well. So, first of all, let's discuss about Anthony Joshua. Joshua, of course, you all know already what happened. Joshua came out 2 days ago. This is what he said right here. He says, still pissed about the fight. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and do everything in my power to get things right. Joshua speaking fast right now. And, Joshua also was listening to the Pooh Shiesty song, Blood music, Back in Blood. The same music Water was listening to before the Fast and Fury trilogy. That music, I'll tell you that I'm not a fan of grind music like that, Of course, I'm a fan of gangster music, the whole gangster music, but this grind music is different. However, that music, when you listen to that song, it gets you into a dangerous and a Terminator mode. So I like the fact that Joshua is listening to music that is going to get him into that mode, because Joshua is seeing the kind of accolade Water got in the trilogy bout against Fury, despite losing. The props he's getting, even people that didn't like him before are giving him his credit, even though some of them might not still like him, but they giving him a credit because he's a warrior. He put all on the line. Joshua, looking at his last performance, he himself was not pleased. That's why he's still very much pleased by that performance, and he wants to get his belts back in blood, and it's gonna be a bloody night. Because Usyk also, he's a warrior, bro. Usyk also is a warrior, but we are yet to see Usyk in a blood battle, bro. We've seen Joshua in blood battle before. We've seen him many times in blood battle. We're yet to see Usyk in it. And it's going to be interesting because let's keep in mind that Joshua didn't even throw a lot of punches, and Usyk's face, look at Usyk's face and look at Joshua's face, bro. You can tell who took more damage and who didn't. Okay, Usyk, despite actually winning that fight comfortably, took a lot of damage just from Joshua jab. Just imagine if Joshua had put it on him. Just imagine if Joshua put everything, or his punches together and went straight at him and really put it on him. I mean, I don't believe Usyk would have been actually maybe not knocked out, but brutally injured. Oh, you understand? Because look at his face, bro. He tells Joshua punches very, 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 very hard. This is why you have to also give Joshua credit in a way. Let's go down here, Winky, to give his take on this. By the way, we are live, Winky. How you doing? Long time. Nice to have you back, Winky. Are you with us, bro?
Okay. Good evening to everybody on the chat. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Continue.
Yeah. With Anthony Joshua, yeah, I'm a little bit, I'll say, impressed by the way he's going about trying to redeem himself. He's behaving the way a champion is supposed to behave. When you are put in a position where everybody thinks that you're supposed to win a fight, and it doesn't go the way you want it to go. And in the fight itself, it doesn't seem like you give everything that you should have given. The proper mindset after that kind of occurrence is for you to try and gather yourself, remain positive, do every single thing that you can do, and believe that you can win the fight. You have to be able to reflect on what happened that night, and look at it from a positive perspective. Now, this doesn't sound like what we normally hear from Joshua. Things like getting it back in blood. That sounds more like an American kind of thing. Or maybe it's because that's where he is at that time. It might be the right change for him. Probably he needs a change in mindset. Probably he needs a change in mentality. Probably being around people that are more civil. Boxing is a sport for warriors. It's a sport, no doubt, but it's a sport for warriors. If you're around a mindset or a training camp where everybody is more civil and things are more towards, or they're more geared towards looking at it from a sports perspective, it may work. But sometimes you may have to put yourself in a situation where you feel angry at yourself. You feel disgusted by your performance, and you start to have a different mindset. Also, Usyk, there's some things that Usyk said after the fight towards Joshua, as if you have to justify change in mindset. Usyk doesn't seem to respect Joshua the way he ought to respect him. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't go to him after the fight and shake his hand and all of that, but the thing that he said after the fight, he said, one, Joshua wasn't special. Like what he got from him wasn't anything extraordinary. He's also talking about fight Tyson Fury. It seems to be overlooking him. So if you're looking at it from that perspective or from that mindset, you have to think that probably this change in mentality is needed. Maybe that's how he will be able to get the results. But at the same time, he needs to work on the mindset. Is important. A lot of people say boxing is mental. So I 100% agree. I'm not sure what percentage it is, maybe 50%, 30%, whichever percentage of it is mental. A lot of it is mental. In fact, sports generally is mental. Everything in life is mental. Your performance, if you don't believe that you're going to do something, you're not going to do it. So that's understandable. But at the same time, on the tactical point, I think Joshua also needs to work. This is okay, change of mindset. That's what I call it, fair. But he also needs to marry that with the tactical part of it. And I think that's what he's trying to do. That's where he's going to America, visiting different trainers. That's where he is. So it's much welcome, much respected. And I agree with the change of mindset and the change of approach.
Times, what I do appreciate your take on this, right? Yeah, let's go down here. Kenechuku. What do you make of Anthony Joshua current mindset? Are you with us, bro? Kenechuku? I think you are though, but I don't know.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Okay.
I was muted. Sorry.
Okay, bro.
I think it's good. I'm excited about it. What will make me more excited about it is if he goes ahead and announces his coach, his new coach. That will make me more of a believer. I think I'm one of the only people on this panel to have put money in that match, so I know how much he paid in my pocket, not to get back any money on an Anthony Joshua win. So I think it's quite good, but he has to do the needful, which is get a new coach, just like Deontay did. Get a new coach, and then let's know your mindset. Let's start seeing you work. I think the touring around is long gone. You only have November. In fact, this is actually November. You have December till March to do training, to do serious training and everything. So let's get a serious coach. Tyson Fury did it. He wanted to knock Deontay Wilder out. He got a serious coach in. He wanted the Kronk style. He got a serious coach. So Boati also did it. Got a serious coach. He wanted that kind of rough, inside rough style, and sharper finishing. Got a new coach. We saw the results. So get your new coach. Let's know that you're serious about getting it back in blood, and let's get this W over this Ukrainian guy. So that's my own mindset. That's my own message to him if he ever hears it. That's what I'm excited about.
Of course, Joshua. Of course, we yeah, bro. Like, I mean, I was surprised to know that Joshua watches his channel, bro. You know, I don't know, maybe not at the moment because of his, recent, occurrence and all this kind of stuff. Now, what do you make of Usyk? Kind of eyeing the Tyson Fury fight instead of like focusing. I mean, I know I know the guy is always ready to fight. Okay, I know he's not a ducker. I know he's not going to pull out the fight. However, you think it's right for Usyk to be talking about, yeah, Tyson Fury say he's the king of kings? It's not, only him thinks that, and all this kind of stuff. You know, basically saying that he wants Fury.
I don't think that we should overreact to it. The reason why I'll say it is that I remember when I watched the US the what do you call it, the World Boxing Super Series, and he was fighting Mario Hawk, and they were asking him what's his mindset about this Mario Hawk and then defending his cruiserweight belt, and he kept on saying that his mindset, the only thing I'm thinking about is Jeddah. The only thing I'm thinking about is he was only thinking about the final. Now anybody that they put in front of him, it doesn't matter. And he was lucky to win against Brady. It was a very tight match. But that's what he's always been saying. When they asked him, the manager of Usyk, who speaks perfect English, they asked him in Sky Sports 2 weeks before the fight that what did he say when he said when he found out? What did he say when he found out that Anthony Joshua had a rematch clause? He said, he was so happy. He said, why is he happy? He said that, he gets to beat him twice, and he gets to make so much money 2 times. That he's like a child in a playground. So that's always been his mindset. I don't worry about things like that. I don't think it's disrespect. I don't think that is his mindset. We just watched a fight where we saw one of the most silliest people that disrespected a champion, a World 30 champion in Jamel Herring. He's one of the most Shako is one of the most unserious people outside the boxing ring. But when he's inside that boxing ring, he's super serious. It's almost the same thing like an Usyk. So you don't pay him no mind. You can say anything. He's been saying stuff since. Especially his manager, who speaks perfect English, has been saying stuff since. So I don't pay him any mind. I just worry about what happens in 36 minutes of you being in that ring. So I just think we should all take it with a grain of salt and just wait for this thing. He can be disrespectful. It can be however he wants it to be. That's his own problem. We just pray that AJ shows up on that day and does what he's actually meant to do. And he can use what AJ can actually do is use those words as motivation. That's what you do. If somebody thinks that you're an easy mark, that you're not a unified champion, and you aren't a unified champion for multiple years for a reason, then you show him why you're not a unified champion, and then you either punish him or you knock him out. So that's what I believe that you should do.
Thanks, but I do appreciate your take on this. Let's get Winke on here. Winke, okay, looking at the prospect of Joshua acquiring the service of a super ordinary world class trainer, bro. We've heard Eddie Hearn come out and say, Joshua is not going to leave Rob McCracken. Do you think a world-class trainer will want to team up with McCracken in a way to train Joshua in America? I don't know, bro.
I think I agree. I think I agree with you. But anyway, we don't really know. It depends on how Rob McCracken goes about it. I don't think Rob McCracken is much of a proud person. I don't see him. I don't think he has that disposition. But at the end of the day, everything boils down to what Anthony Joshua wants and how he is willing to go about it. At the same time, if let's assume he works with somebody like a Ronnie Shields. Let's say it's Ronnie Shields that Anthony Joshua decides to go with. Um, Based on what Ronnie Shields said in in an interview with I think the Boxing Voice, or one of these interviews that he gave recently, where he said AJ didn't mention him. I don't know if they will be able to work together depending on who he picks. Like I think it depends on the kind of the personalities and how they match up. If it's actually going to be something that's going to work or not. But if you were to ask me what I think Joshua needs to do right now, I think he can keep Rob McCracken as sort of like a mentor and a guide in the camp, similar to what Wilder did with JDs. If he gets a new trainer that can, because I think the kind of trainer that he needs is somebody that can specifically teach him how to fight a southpaw. I'm not sure who that person is going to be, but if you were to ask me, it's to be the person that knows how to train people for southpaws. Get that person in, then you can still keep McCracken as a voice in the camp if he's willing to do that, and if no egos are involved, because at the same time Joshua looks up to McCracken, and maybe that will also inspire him. Maybe his presence will also inspire him being in the camp. You know.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you for this. Let's go on here. Ty Ajagba, who is with us now right now. We just got in. Ty Ajagba.
Hey,
What
what's
do you
going on,
what do
man?
you what do you make of the two-time unified heavyweight king of the whole universe? I think Joshua won his belts back in blood, bro.
Uh, well, what can I say? He's been hinted saying the fight's been bothering him. Everybody he knows himself that wasn't if not that wasn't the best game plan going into that Usyk fight. So I'm pretty sure he's either pissed or he's they're working out a game plan for him. You know, if if he what he says is going to be hard to do unless he really means it, right? Because you can't keep saying something and then it's you get in that ring and it's something different. But as for me, I wish AJ would go in there and really put in that work because when it comes to that rematch, I 100% believe this. Usyk is gonna come in better than he was in the last AJ fight, in the last fight he had with AJ. So come this fight, AJ has to be 100 times better, 100 times better if he wants to win this, right? He should have. I've always believed, whenever these guys hold the belts, they get these extra motivation because they know they're holding the belt, they're the champion. They should be able to, overcome the obstacles that comes in that ring because they know I'm the champion. I'm coming in there. I'm gonna absolutely blast these guys out the way. But it's not like that for him. He's different. You know, it's all about preparation and having the right mindset. But if AJ doesn't go in there with the right mindset and with somebody different, within his coach, it's gonna be a repeat. If not him getting TKO'd, right? That's gonna be what I see in the next match. But the guy is hungry. He's been going around looking for a new trainer. So I do believe and I hope you know they're ready to teach him on how to properly use his size, which is one of the most important thing I think he fails to do all the time. And somebody who's gonna push him and be ready for this fight, especially when it comes to him working on his endurance and stamina and everything. Because as of right now, that shit is piss poor for a champion. It is piss poor, right? So yeah, this fight is has to mean a lot to him because he has some tough fights coming up and some absolutely tough fights coming up. So he has to get past Usyk, and then he goes to possibly face Dylan White, Tyson Fury, Wilder, and after that, man, that's when we could all say, okay, hey man, you done what you done, you unified, you're ready. I think you're ready to retire, you know. But if you're asking me, if he says he wants it back in blood, you know what that means, man. He's gonna have to really be a thousand times better than he was, because Usyk is gonna come in the best shape of his entire life, the best shape. Usyk is 35 years old.
You don't see Usyk coming in doing the Andrews Jr. Move like
He
it
had he. I don't think AJ should come in heavier because he still has the power. He carries power in both hands. It's all about what if he implements the game plan, if he follows up on the punches, if he pushes Usyk. Listen, all he did was straight jabs and straight rights. That's all he did. That's all he did in the whole fight. We didn't see him. We didn't see his signature left. We didn't see any uppercuts. We didn't see him, cutting up the ring against a southpaw like Usyk. Following up of a left hook. Because if it's placed right, left southpaws. If you hit him with a left hook, you could get him. That's one of the ways to beat someone like a southpaw. But the footwork was terrible. Like he was hinting, he's pissed off about it because that's what he saw. He saw the mistakes he made, right? But let's see what they have for him in general. Let's see what they have for him is the plan. Let's see who he brings in. Let's see if he's hungry. I was pointing out the if anybody knows Shakur Stevenson. The people were like, he's not aggressive, this and that, blah blah blah. I mean, Jamel Herring is, the guy was he's up and down. And he's eventually going to go out the door. But at the same time, he showed how that the Shakur showed how poised he is. He went in there and absolutely did what he had to do. His game plan was just beautiful. Just the way he boxed aggressively. That's the kind of aggressiveness I want to see, right? When it comes to Anthony Joshua. That's why I was like saying K. Koroma did a fantastic job on Shakur Stevenson. You can't be like you can't be like, oh, it's not the fighter. It's the communication. If it's if the fighter wants to listen, they'll listen, right? So it's the same shit. Efe Ajagba has a good coach, Cage Koroma. It all depends on the barrier they both place, on barrier that FA places on himself. Now it goes back to AJ. What barrier does AJ place on himself? Is he gonna follow up on the punches? Is he too hesitant? When is he gonna learn that when is he gonna learn that hit and not get hit doesn't necessarily mean you hit a guy, you hit him successfully, but you're not gonna follow up. You're just gonna stand back and try to avoid any punches he counters back. Bro, you better follow up on that punch, and be careful at the same time. That's what he means. I think that's what he's trying to find out. And let's hope somebody in the US can do it for him. But I don't have anything much to say other than
thanks, brother. Eddie Hearn stated recently that Joshua is not looking to, let Rob McCracken of his job. Do you think a world class trainer would agree to, kind of like partner with Rob McCracken to train Anthony Joshua for his next fight?
Okay, absolutely. You know what? Think about this. You have to keep Rob McCracken in with AJ because he knows AJ, right? He personally knows AJ. Bringing another coach in is good because now they could work together and he could tell, okay, this is what AJ does wrong, or AJ's not really, he's not gonna really do something like that. It's for for both of them to communicate. Getting rid of Rob McCracken fully is not good because now the new coach has to fully work with AJ and try to understand AJ because you don't have time for that kind of stuff. You don't. AJ doesn't have time for that kind of stuff. Trying to get, how do I say it, like blend or mesh or work along with the get along with the coach or try for the coach to understand. They don't have time for that. They need to have somebody that knows AJ from the Olympics in there, so they could say, okay, this is what AJ does wrong. This is what's going on. Yeah, yeah. For them to talk and communicate properly. Because if they don't have that, it's gonna be a problem. You can't just get rid of someone and not have somebody that knows AJ like that. So I think him getting rid of Rob McCracken is a not getting rid of Rob McCracken is a fantastic idea.
Well, how come Fury was able to get rid of his uncle Peter Fury, who know him in and out, and then went in with Ben Davison, of course, we're just learning on the job,
Yeah, but
and
think about
then
it, right?
let Davison and went to Sugar Hill. So I don't think,
No. Remember, Tyson Fury was originally with the Kronk Gym. He left the Kronk Gym and then he went
bro,
somewhere
that was
else.
like many
But
years ago. How long was that?
yeah,
It's
but
not up to
yeah,
eight
yeah, but
bro. That's like many years ago, bro.
yeah, that was many years ago. But still
But
doesn't mean like they,
who developed Fury style? Is it not Peter Fury? Peter Fury did it. His uncle developed his style.
but
You
not
know,
the Kronk style.
no,
But
no, no,
not the Kronk
not the
style.
Kronk side, but his style of moving, and his footwork. If you look at even Fury has the same style, similar style, bro. Okay, the only difference is that Fury don't really have power to it. Like I mean, Tyson Fury doesn't like it. It's still not powerful like that. However, he's of course compared to Fury, he's got more power than Fury. Bro, both of them
Oh,
fight.
that's me right here.
They used to fight the same. But Fury, Tyson Fury now has kind of just changed his whole game plan and his own fighting style. But it all depends on the opponent because if I don't know if he's gonna fight like that against Usyk if they were to meet. Farrell Montana says you people stop it. The whole trainer should go. It's time for change. Yeah. Let's go down here. Isioma. Looks like Ajagba is a little bit busy now. Isioma, how you doing, bro? Are you with us? I think you're with us, bro. Like you just have to unmute on your hand, bro. Isioma, unmute on your hand. Okay, now. Yeah, you have muted. Now, speak. I can't hear you, stable. It has to be your network or something like that, bro. Try going and coming again. Go out and come in again. It's your man. Do it that way. Before you come in again, let's go around here. Kinechuku. I want to ask you this right now. Yeah. Let's talk quick about Efe Ajagba. Ajagba is currently having a family time, but he'll be back. Ajagba's mindset is, of course, out of boxing now. You looking at that fight, Ajagba returning. It's good. There's a rematch. Or a rematch. Oh, Isioma is here now. Isioma, can you say something now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you please mute it, bro? How you doing, bro? Isioma?
Good to be back to the house. Fine, thank you. Greetings to Kenechukwu, greetings to Mario Joe, and greetings, of course, especially to you, Ray.
Shout out to Mario Joe.
I joined the conversation. Yeah, I've given Mario Joe a shout out. Mario Joe is my man, so I can't miss giving him a shout out. I got in when what's his name now? Ajagba was taking his opinion. I think that AJ should really be hungry to get his belts back. I think that AJ dropped the ball, and he himself knows he dropped the ball. You can see it in his body language. The body language he gave to the defeat against Ruiz is different from the body language he gave to the defeat against Usyk, because he felt disappointed in himself. I mean, this is me. Um, this is my observation. I think he felt disappointed in himself. Um, and you can even see the seriousness that he's giving to the rematch. He's jumping from one gym to another. He's hobnobbing with one renowned boxing coach to another, wanting to find what would best suit him. And I think he should give it absolute, total, full concentration. I think it's about time to say to be the final goodbye to McCracken as it relates to McCracken coaching him. He's given his all to AJ from the Olympic era to now. That's 9 years down the line. Okay, I think he's done his very best. McCracken is not a promoter that will say okay because he's a promoter. He's a coach, and coaches seem to at some point lost their magic wand on some of their athletes. Okay. Another thing that AJ really had.
Bro, I don't know what happened to you, bro. Like, it's very low. It's low your hand. It's your now. Yeah, it's better.
You can't hear me anymore?
Now, yeah. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Another thing I think, all right. Another thing I think the AJ's camp has got to work on is his fight psyche. Since the Andy Ruiz won fight, AJ's fight psyche seemed to have gone through the window. And it does bother me, really. Even though he had that victory against Pulev, the consciousness of him not being hit was there. It was written all over him in the fight. And that was why, even when we thought that he had Pulev in the third round and was going to, knock him out, he took his foot off the pedal. Yeah, he was being cautious. Yes, it was just one fight between his knockout and the Pulev fight. So that consciousness was still in him. Again, we saw that consciousness going into the Usyk fight. Is Usyk an amazing boxer? Absolutely. I mean, I have come to love Usyk. He seemed to possess a much more round boxing skill in the heavyweight division right now. Just my personal opinion. However, AJ was not present in there. We didn't see AJ's combinations. Okay. We didn't see AJ's hard punches. The few times he gave those hard punches, whether to the head or to the body, you would see Usyk withdraw. Okay. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. It happened about 8 times all through the 12 rounds. You will see Usyk withdraw, but AJ will still withdraw even when he has hurt Usyk. So beyond the fighting skill, wherever he's going, wherever he eventually ends up with, whether it's Shield or his Hunter or wherever he ends up with, he should work on his fight psyche. People say that it was since after the Vladimir Klitschko fight. I do not agree, because I think after the Klitschko fight, he really engaged against Takam, he engaged against Parker, he engaged against Povetkin until Ruiz caught him. And the Ruiz fight was 2019. Okay, well over 2 years ago. So he needs the right psychological mix to get him back to the fighter that AJ used to be. We know, and I'm sure that he and his camp know, that you cannot outbox Usyk. So give him a brawl if you really want the belt back. But in giving him the brawl, he should also not be reckless and careless. Usyk will catch him if he's reckless and careless. Okay. Um, AJ really has to go get his belt back because I think that if he doesn't nip it in the bud in the rematch, um, his his acceptance value would drop drastically. Of course, we see some comments that have already been made. Oh, he doesn't have a good chain. He was never a great fighter. Eddie Hand was just making him up. All sorts of funny talks around. Those talks were bound to happen. But the reason why those talks are happening is basically because people were disappointed in AJ. AJ himself was disappointed in himself. And I hope that he goes to right the wrongs. That's my contribution.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate your take on this. Let's go down here, Mayo Joe. Mayo Joe. Yeah. What's your take on this, brother, Mayo Joe?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Very low, bro. Like you have to up the volume.
Mm. How about now?
Still low, bro. Still low.
Something wrong with this thing. Okay, hold on.
You have to go out and come in again. Go out and come in. Okay, now. Oh. Speak. I beg.
Is it better?
Yeah. Very good now. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we're talking about AJ changing his trainer. Oh, greetings to everyone. And this time I hear you, bro. Can I keep Ray? I hear you as well.
AJ wants his belts back in blood. Back in blood, bro.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. What did you say, bro?
I said Joshua wants his belts back in blood.
Right. I just think that AJ is doing the right thing right now. It's going around. I think for the first time in a long time, I'm beginning to see the seriousness in AJ as well again, because I think he kind of lost he lost some of the hunger, and and I think what happened to AJ was that he lost the hunger unconsciously by being too much of a politician as opposed to a boxer that he is, a fighter, a boxer. And he became way too nice, way too nice. And he carried this niceness into the ring. He fights as though he's not there to hit you or he's just there to pat your back. And then, that the ruthlessness that we were used to, that ruthlessness is kind of gone. I wouldn't say completely, like in the Bullets fight, you can see some flashes of the old AJ. And if AJ got to the level, to the stage where he is in his career by fighting ruthlessly, by being a devastating, fighter. But then all of a sudden, after that Ruiz fight, he became so extra cautious, and he goes around to say that the name of the game is hit and don't get hit. He kept saying that. He kept repeating it in several interviews. And yes, that is part of the name of the game, but it is not the complete name of the game. And if you fight like that, especially against a guy like AJ, a guy like Usyk is actually the master of hit and don't get hit. So how do you then go defeat the master of hit and don't get hit if you're not gonna fight the way you used to fight, the way you fought that got you to the level where you are now? So I'm happy to see what he's doing, and I'm happy to see that he's actually. You see, people keep talking about this thing. Is a Robbie McCracken that he's a bad trainer? This that I see. People need to understand that with everything in life, right? You get to a point where your trainer will not be able to add more to your game. It's not because the trainer is bad. It's not because the trainer can't go on to train someone else to become a champion. You just got to a stage where the both of them became stuck. Okay. Robbie McCracken now could take up another fighter and get the other fighter to the next level, even maybe beyond AJ, maybe. But as regards his relationship with AJ, they got to a stage where they became stuck. And why not? When you get to that point, you have to find a way to move on. You have to find a way to get someone else in with fresh ideas, And for me, he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing, going around trying to shop around for trainers. And hopefully he gets somebody who's going to fit well with his style, with his personality, and also someone who is going to bring that old dog, that old AJ back. And not just bring that dog back, it's to also add to that dog to even make AJ a more devastating fighter. Careful but devastating. So, because Usyk is even going to be very, very, I think maybe Usyk is going to be better in the next fight. I'm just speculating. Who knows? Maybe Usyk is going to come there underrating AJ. But I don't see Usyk as, I don't see him as a guy like that. I see him as a guy who is a determined guy who is going to come there to prove a point. To say, listen, I'm not Andy Ruiz. And this victory against AJ wasn't a fluke. And Usyk will not do. He will try not to be a one-off heavyweight champion like Andy Ruiz did. Usyk is not there eating tacos and all this kind of thing. Usyk is training again, so this is going to be a totally different rematch. But I believe AJ can do it, even if AJ doesn't win that fight. It depends on the manner of, it depends on the way he lost. So if he loses, So if he goes in there and fight the way he fought in the last fight, I think he's probably going to get knocked out this time. But if he goes in there this time, careful, but just be a dog. Just fight the way you used to fight. What got you here? The style that got you to where you are today. Go back to that style. Because when you look at it, this new style of hit and don't get hit, only going through 2 fights, the Andy Ruiz rematch and Bullet. That's it. But the old style got into over 20 fights. So just go back to that old style. Add some things to the style, add a few things here and there, and, hopefully come back and do the job. And even if you don't do the job, if you give us a really, really great fight where you leave everything there in the ring, everything, even if you get knocked out, why not? Did Deontay Wilder not Deontay Wilder also got knocked out. You know what I mean? He also got knocked out. So why not? Why not just go in there and do what you got to do? You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, man. Don't go in there and try to be
Are you saying that Joshua should empty his tank?
Oh yeah, in this kind of fight you go to at some point. You have to give it your all. At some point you have to, because at the end of the day, either you empty your tank or not. Usyk is still going to outbox you, and he's still going. If you're not careful, he's probably going to knock you out. So depending on how the fight goes, you're going to have to give it your all, man. You're going to have to give it your all, your everything. That's what I think, anyway.
Thanks, brother. I do appreciate your take on this, and our brother Wike. I would like Wike to give his take on the return of Efe Ajagba very soon. Ajagba is currently right now in recovery and spending time with family. But Ajagba will be back, and I just been told by someone that works with Top Rank that Ajagba is gonna be back strong, bro. Not gonna be an easy like he's not coming to play in the rematch. What do you make of that, bro? Winky.
Okay, it's good he's getting the much needed rest and time with his family. After all the stress that he went through, trying to get the fight, the postponement and all those things. Maybe those things also affected his performance. Who knows? Maybe if they fought in July, who knows? I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing. Maybe because I sort of saw something that most people haven't spoken about. He's sort of had like a black eye on his right eye going into the fight. I think maybe the sparring with Tyson Fury and Jared Anderson, maybe that took something out of him. So the rest that he's getting is much needed. I like that. But if I were to advise him as a brother, I'll tell him straight up, I don't think you've gotten to the level that you'd need to be able to beat Frank Sanchez. I think you need to work on more things, work on more skills. More importantly to me, the thing that I actually saw that enabled him or made him lose was that I think his feet are too slow. That's what I think for Frank Sanchez. I think Frank Sanchez knew that if he was going to avoid getting hit by the right hand, all he had to do was stay on the outside and keep moving, keep giving different angles. Whenever Ajagba comes close, move to the move to the wrong side of his right hand. Ajagba was cut off the ring throughout, but he wasn't able to do so. And I think it's just because of I think his footwork isn't quite what it needs to be. But is that the end of the world for him? No, I don't think it is. I think he should fight somebody else in the meantime, work on his feet, get better footwork. Because if he's going again and fight the same way he fought the other time, because I didn't see any variation at all. Yes, his coach was telling him to be aggressive, and he wanted to be aggressive, but he couldn't be aggressive because the person didn't give him a chance. Sanchez didn't give him a chance to be aggressive. So I think it's a bad move for him to try and go in there immediately again. Get the rest that you're getting. Work on your foot, or maybe lose a little bit of weight. I don't know how you're going to be able to do it. But take some tune-up fights in the meantime, and then maybe come back maybe this time next year and try and get a rematch. I don't think the immediate rematch is good because if he loses twice in a row to Frank Sanchez, it's not good for his prospects as a future champion. So that's what I think. Or as a future contender, it will diminish him in the eyes of boxing because he has not really reached a level where he's a marquee name yet. You know, they will probably start pushing for somebody else. Maybe they'll start pushing for Sanchez. Sanchez will take his position. You know, so I don't think he should go right into the rematch. I think he should work on his skills, work on his footwork, and then maybe come back again in a year or so against that same guy once he's going to get it right.
Well, I understand your concern for Efe Ajagba. However, I believe Ajagba has all the tools to beat Sanchez. Sanchez is not a special fighter, bro. Not a special fighter. In terms of skill set, yes, he's more skilled than Ajagba. And Ajagba, of course, last time he was too hesitant in kind of engaging, like say almost similar to what Joshua did against Usyk. So they both had that factor of not letting their ends go. Okay, but I believe in a rematch is going to be a different story. Ajagba has to listen in this game right here. You have to give some, you have to take some and give some, because if you're relying on hit and not get hit, well, this is the division. You have to take some and give some. In fact, when you get knocked down, you get back up. At least leave everything there. Leave everything there. Wilder lost, but Wilder I'm listen, bro. You don't know how happy I am to see Wilder back in the ring again. That shows that the guy gave it his all. And I believe Ajagba beats Frank Sanchez if he let his hands go and give it his all, bro. Let it go, let your hands go. In fact, empty the tank if it's necessary. Make it a war. I mean, how can you come from a land of warrior? I'm not disrespect to Frank Sanchez, but I don't think he's a warrior. He doesn't have a warrior DNA in him. You understand? Ajagba does. Okay? Ajagba does, bro. You know what I mean? Like, give it your all. Like, give it your all, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, empty the tank. At least you tried. But I just believe Ajagba is too big, strong for Frank Sanchez if he and also listen to your coach, because Ajagba was not listening. I think the communication problem was there. Okay, the coach Ajagba couldn't really grasp, in that tension, when there's that tension, and he couldn't really, the same thing happened with Joshua as well, huh? I just don't know. They hardly listen to their coaches when things are hot, So I think, man, it's one of those things. Anyway, let's go around here. It's your man to react to that. Is your man, can you meet, bro?
Yeah, as it relates to Ajagba, can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Okay. As it relates to Ajagba, I think in my opinion, I think it would be an error for Ajagba to go straight and have a rematch with Sanchez. He probably wants to prove a point. Probably wants to tell the world he had a bad day in the office. I don't think that's what it is. I align completely with Wike. Ajagba's skill set are nowhere near that of Sanchez. Even when I also didn't feel like Sanchez was doing so much on the night, but he did enough to make himself Ajagba. All right. We have always said, we've always complained, we've always hoped that the weaknesses we found or we saw in Ajagba would be improved, which is his leg movement and his head movement. They are absolutely non-existent. At least Joshua even had the leg movement, he had the head movement against a far better boxer in Usyk. But in Ajagba's case, it just wasn't there at all. Okay, and then his hands were not.
Sorry to interrupt, Wiki. Sorry to interrupt, Isioma. That is the reason why I'm saying Ajagba should make it a dog fight.
Yes.
Fran Sanchez wouldn't want to fight a dog fight with Ajagba. You see how he was running around. So make it a dog fight. Make it a fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot go there and try to box Fran Sanchez. You cannot beat Fran Sanchez with boxing, bro. The guy has had over three amateur fights, meaning he's seen your style. People that have got power, but when it comes to fighting, Ajagba spirit, Ajagba fight. The warrior code is not Ajagba. The warrior spirit is not Ajagba. So he's got to bring it out in the rematch. Bring it out. Okay, you might try boxing round 1, round 2. It's not going. Maybe he's not. If he's not going. Now start it. Make it a bag, bro. Take some and give some. Continue, brother.
But the thing here is, if you observed, Sanchez was easily cutting Ajagba out. If Ajagba does not work on his footwork in the rematch, Sanchez will keep cutting him out and will keep hurting him. I think that Ajagba wanted to engage Sanchez, but he couldn't find the range to engage him. Sanchez wasn't allowing him for that at all. Of course, Sanchez knew that there's power in Ajagba's punches, particularly in the right hand. Okay. In the rematch, Jude has got to work on throwing his hands against a fighter like Sanchez, and he's also got to improve on his footwork. And that's why I think that, well, I'm not comfortable with him going straight into the rematch with Sanchez. I think he should have taken 1 or 2, tune-up fights, improve on those lapses before going in to engage Sanchez again. But if that's what it will have to be, he really has got to work on his footwork. He's got to work on his head movement. Those were the two yawning gaps that I personally observed. And if he works on them and engages more against Sanchez, he will be able to hurt Sanchez. Other than that, Sanchez will have another victory over Ajagba.
I understand, though. So, Kenechukwu, your take?
Well, I think my brothers have said my mind. Should be told that as I was waiting for the Shakur match, I rewatched the Efe Sanchez match on YouTube just as I was waiting for it, and I couldn't even stand up to like 3-4 minutes because I was just like, maybe I was being a little bit harsh when we did the breakdown last time. Let me watch what I watch, and it's the same thing that my brothers are saying. There are a couple of things that I noticed straight off the bat. Efe was a footballer before he went to the US, even during the Olympics. His footwork is not there again. His footwork isn't there. He's not fainting. He's not disguising that right hand. He's not fainting. He's throwing it straight down pipe. The third thing is that IQ, and which almost everybody has referred to here, the boxing IQ is not there. Like a Sanchez's boxing IQ, he shouldn't take that fight. It's just like saying that Burnley should go and be play Man City over and over again. No matter how many times they go out and play, Burnley will not beat Man City. He is.
Bro, this is a fight. This is not a football match, bro. This is a fight. A fight.
Somebody else.
This is a fight. Ajagba has a longer reach. Ajagba is bigger. Ajagba is taller. Bro, what do you mean by ring IQ? Bro, Ajagba's gonna make it. Okay. Now let's keep it right now. Let's keep it right now.
Can he faint?
Okay, wait. Does water beat for Sanchez? Does water beat for Sanchez? Does water beat for Sanchez?
Does water beat for Sanchez? Yes, because Wada knows how to disguise a punch. Even Koanaki knows how to disguise a punch. Efe doesn't know how to disguise
I think Wilder can
punch.
beat Sanchez. I think Wilder can beat Sanchez, but I think it would be a disservice to Wilder if we are comparing him in the same breath or mentioning him in the same breath as Efe Ajagba.
I know, I'm not comparing. Listen, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying. I'm not comparing.
Okay, if it's not comparison, yes, Wilder can make a mess of Sanchez.
It's not comparison, bro. What is a former world champion, bro?
Wilder is very, very fast. Is much faster. Is much faster than Ajagba. They may have the same kind of power.
That's what I'm saying. Ajagba is 2 years a Sanchez kind of. He needs a top 20 guy now to build his confidence. A top 20 guy. Ajagba can easily beat or can easily do a good match with Koanaki right now, because Koanaki will come forward and this thing think that he can absorb all Ajagba's punches. It will be a fun fight which Ajagba can easily can knock him out, because Koanaki is not going to look to cut off any angles. He's just going to come straight forward. Throw.
Why would Ajagba go from fighting a guy like Sanchez to Koanaki who has no defense, bro? Bro, Sanchez has a lot of defense.
He needs his confidence back.
Who told you Ajagba has lost his confidence, bro? He hasn't lost his confidence. It was just a bad day in office, bro.
Okay, no problem.
Who told you Ajagba lost his confidence?
Is that what you believe?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's bad in office, bro. I don't think he lost his confidence. You think he lost his confidence?
I think that as the rounds went on, as he was throwing, as he couldn't hit him, his confidence kept on draining. I don't think that he's up there like he used to be, and I think that he needs a boost. What I think he needs is that he needs a boost. He needs a top 20 guy that he can actually deal with, and then he can go to that Sanchez fight. There's nothing in taking a top 20 tune-up guy. Everybody does it in boxing. Remember, I've been watching boxing for years now. Are you saying that nobody takes a tune-up again to get ready for the rematch?
I'm not saying. Listen, if Fran Sanchez was unbeatable, then I would say yes. Fran Sanchez is not unbeatable, bro. That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. He's not unbeatable, bro. Like Sanchez is he's not unbeatable, bro. In fact, I believe Ajagba knocks him out in the rematch. I just believe that. Okay, I just believe that. But Ajagba should be ready to take some.
Okay.
Take some and give. You have to take some. Ajagba wasn't like ready to take some. He was scared. I don't know why he was like hesitantly letting his hands go. Like he's right. Like
it's a mindset now. Not everybody wants to go out on their shield. Not everybody wants to go out on their shield. It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset.
Or maybe he wanted to box. You know.
There are a few. You think like someone like. Yeah, maybe he wanted to box. They are different. Like someone like what's the name of that drug user? Oscar Valdez will never ever go out on the shield. He will never ever go out on the shield. No matter what you say, you rather run from the ring or faint an injury than go out on the shield. So like the guy that fought Shakur Stevenson, he would die in that ring. If the referee would have stopped it, his two eyes would have closed. He would have died in that ring. So boxers have a different mindset. I don't think that Efe wanted to get knocked out, sparked out in that ring that day. I think he wanted to just make it to the 12th round, survive, and then try and come back. But I want him to come back with confidence.
Anyway, it's good. It's good though. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Now let's get to the last one right here. Last topic. Man United disaster, bro. What's the reaction?
I just think that the club needs to make. We've had terrible management. Sorry, terrible owners for a while, and the club needs to make a decision. Needs to make a decision and needs to stop allowing fans make the decision for them. Chelsea doesn't allow, Roman doesn't allow the fans make the decision for him. He looks at the analytics. Are we on relegation form? It's time for you to go.
But we are not on relegation form yet though. We are still like 6th, 7th in the table.
How many? Our 6 matches. Wait, our 6 matches, let's be honest. Like, me and you were discussing, we were discussing before we came on. Do you believe that Atlanta and Villarreal matches, if not for individual brilliance, not tactical brilliance, so individual brilliance, do you believe that we would have won those matches?
No.
We did not outplay those teams. Those were individual brilliant moments. There's no tactical this thing. You brought a player who has been out for 2 months straight into the first team. That guy has only had half a training session. The guy gave away the ball for that Atlanta goal. He can't run. The same player you bought him, yes, the captain of the team, to play a Liverpool match. I mean, I don't understand. It's almost like the Nigerian coach that uses Efe Ajagba, who's a defender in West Brom, to always play in midfield. It boggles me. I'm thinking, like, how can you be so inept? And I think about how he was in Cardiff, and the only thing he knew how to do in Cardiff was just to attack. He never knew how to defend. That's why Cardiff shipped so many goals. I think the only people that ship more goals than Cardiff were actually Derby County. So he's just a disaster. But we have terrible owners. Our owners just care about selling more United jerseys and then clearing money every season paying dividends into their.
Well, I don't know, bro. Like, I think I will have a backup team soon, though, to support. I mean, I'm a Red Devil through and through, but I will have a backup team.
Support Bayern Munich.
No. I'm not supporting Bayern Munich, bro. I don't like Bayern Munich, bro.
Please make us send out your backup team, please.
Newcastle will be my backup team, bro. Like Newcastle,
they're not allowing them to bring in any money.
Don't worry. Newcastle are like because of my brother, because of Sporting Icons. You know, Sporting Icons from there. He's from Newcastle. So I will see Newcastle as my backup team. However, it's from there. You remember my first, love, and I love like, it's just crazy that right now we have terrible owners. I mean, what do you make of Saudi Arabia buying our maybe the Middle East, someone from Middle East buy our club? It would be better. Are Glazers not Americans, right? They're Americans. Glazers. They're Americans, right?
Yeah, they're Americans.
So it means they are capitalist, naturally. So all they care about is like money, profit, not about the club. So we need to face them. Like, Glazers need to go out, bro. Crazy. Isioma, what do you make of the disaster in Manchester, bro?
Yeah, it really was a disaster. I mean, Liverpool traveling all the way from Liverpool to Manchester City and making a mess of the original landlord of the city. I actually was expecting Liverpool to have a better over Man U, but I was looking at a goal or max 2 goals margin, and the reason is simple. Liverpool is better in form. They have been in imperial form this season, Man U has been having it topsy-turvy. Okay, so and again, of course, you cannot compare the coaching ingenuity of your club to that of babyface assassin Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The gap is wide, and the players in Liverpool, for every single position they hold, they are absolutely informed. They are just like the Chelsea team for the season, right? So yes, I was expecting that they were going to have a better, even though it was going to hold at Old Trafford. But to come at 5-0, now slam the owners all you may, but there's a huge disconnect, and we're not ready for that conversation. There's a huge disconnect between the players and the coach. It keeps showing every now and again. A huge disconnect. All right. Look at all 5 goals. Whether the one that came from Naby Keita that was assisted by Mo Salah, I can't remember who scored the second goal, and then the last 3 goals that Salah scored. Look at all 5 goals. It was as a result of flat-footedness from the back line. And they also have not, maybe there's a clause in Pogba's contract that states that even if he's having a bad day continuously, he must be played. I do not understand that. Pogba continues to be a huge problem in that backline. Forget the flashes of brilliance that he occasionally throws in. We know that Pogba has that skill, but his presence of mind. This is not the Pogba that we knew at Juventus. This is not the Pogba that plays for France.
Bro, he needs a coach. He needs a world-class coach. You know, of course, we know Mourinho. Mourinho brought him back to the club. However, I think someone like Conte, he used to play under Conte, right? Someone like Conte will ginger him more. You know, will bring that beast of a player out again in him. I just believe it. What do you think?
I was going to build up. I was going to build up to that, to say that I have a huge liking for Solskjaer. I enjoyed him when he played for Man U, and he was partnering Teddy Sheringham. I love the personality that he has. Nice dude. But he doesn't have the capacity to coach in Manchester United. The only coach since the exit of Sir Alex Ferguson that I thought had something to offer was Mourinho. And of course, since the exit of what's his name now? Since the exit of Sir Alex Ferguson, Mourinho came, won them UEFA, okay, won them UEFA, and I think that's about the only trophy they've won since the exit of Alex Ferguson. But the thing with Mourinho is, when he goes past 2 seasons, the Mourinho factor begins to set in, whether it's some complacency or whether it's some high-handedness, and then there begins to become a disconnect between him and his players. There is rowdiness, there is bad blood that begins to brew. That bad blood actually it also grew between Mourinho and Pogba and a few other players.
Mourinho actually wants you to put in 100% when you play for him. You have to put in 100%, and he's very defensive in a way. And if a footballer don't like to defend, and
that is the issue.
Mourinho is one thing. Mourinho will call you out on your BS if you're not doing the right thing. You're not playing well. He will call you out on your BS. Why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will just laugh it off, and so for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not different though. Look at the treatment of Donny van der Beek, bro. Like, just look at the treatment. Sancho. What is happening to Sancho, bro? How can we spend all that money on Sancho and then not play him?
To acquire Sancho.
Is that not criminal? That's criminal, bro.
You see, the thing... Yeah. For me, I lost my trail of thought, but let me just say that with Solskjaer, whether it is relationship with the players or not, Soldier just doesn't have the coaching skill for a club like Manchester United. That's the absolute truth. It is for no, it is not for an empty reason that the fans have been chanting the Ole out chant. They have seen that Manchester United deserves better than Ole. And to be honest with you, when the shock news came out that Ronaldo went back to Man U, my heart sank. My heart sank basically because I didn't expect Ronaldo to be going to Man U at the time that Soldier is the coach, and also at the time that Man U was at its lowest ebb. So they need to be decisive. Look at what this dude does. Doesn't care whose ox is God. The owner of Chelsea now, Roman Abramovich. If he feels that the coach is going to sink the boat, he fires the coach and he gets another. And does he give him results? Yes, he gives him results. So the owners of Man U have got to be ruthless sometimes in bringing out the boots. Soldier, just like every other coach, knows that my job is about getting hired and getting fired. So if he gets fired, if there's a clause that is tied to his getting fired, and the clause is not going to sink the purse of the club, why not get him fired, get another coach? Look, I'm not a fan of Manchester United. Of course, I don't even have any particular club that I invest a lot of emotions on. But Manchester United is one of those clubs I want to always see in top 3. Let them go slog. Let them go edge someone out, whether they're edging Chelsea or whether they're edging Man U or whether they're edging Liverpool out of the top 3. I would be comfortable because traditionally this is a big club. I feel a lot for Alex Ferguson, having given such legacy to the club, and then on his exit, the club is just on the downward, spiraling downwards. So I think they need to get a very good coach, an A-list coach who would have a good combination of technical and human management skill, which is where Mourinho always has an issue. Mourinho is a sound coach, yes, but his human management, his personal relationship skill is always wanting, which is why Mourinho, look, you talked about Mourinho wanting to give 100%, but I don't think that any player gives Mourinho the more 100% than they give to a coach like Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is always big on fitness. He always demands 100%. But again, you also see that the players that have issues with Pep Guardiola against the ratio of players that have issues with Mourinho, for example, is low. Pep Guardiola has been able to effectively manage players. And then he takes that management to giving the club victory. Is Mourinho not in Roma now? The last 3 matches of Roma, what were the outcomes? So it's sad that we're experiencing this from Man U, but I hope that this last defeat will really snap them back to reality and make them to do the right things. Just put in the right plugs. The players have got to really live up to their responsibilities. If the coach is going to be retained, maybe he should call for adversarial input from Sir Alex Ferguson, like David Moyes was doing when he was there, even though it didn't really bring much of results. Something has just got to happen. Something has just got to happen. There was no motivation, particularly at the back line. They were all flat-footed. Go and see all 5 goals again. They were all defensive errors.
Maguire, what is Maguire doing in a team when he's not fit enough to even play? The guy is like defensively a disaster right now, bro. A disaster. Maguire is actually a disaster. Varane really cover up a lot of things,
Yeah, I feel for Varane and I feel for Ronaldo, honestly. Like Kenechukwu alluded to, um, when they played Atlanta, and which other club was that? It was basically Ronaldo. You could see from 2 goals down the push, the bite that Ronaldo kept giving the attack line. And I was happy that he scored the winner. I feel also for Varane. We know Varane is a top class defender. We've seen what he did at Real Madrid over the seasons he was there. So Varane was naturally going to be a formidable input. But a tree does not make a forest. And you're playing quick-footed players in the mode of Firmino. You have Salah. You have I don't think Sané played on the day, Mane rather. You know, and then you have a defensive midfielder who is also nimble in the mode of navigator. Look, Varane is just going to be outrun, no matter the input, no matter the effort he makes. I also do not understand, just like you, why Harry Maguire would have to continually be played when he's out of sorts. Bench him, let him fight from the bench. Some of those defenders that you're putting on the bench might be burning with hunger, looking for an opportunity to come on and want to show that they really can do this. There's there's just a lot of ego play in that club, and I think that the egos of some of these players are consuming the coach.
Well, we'll see though. Let's go about here, Winke, to give us a stake before Vamura here. Winke, your take on
Okay, so
disaster in Man United, bro, in Old Trafford, bro.
well, since Ferguson left, they've not been able to put Manchester United together since he left. Sometimes when you have a great manager that's been heralding a team for such a long time, he leaves a gap that is very difficult to fill for anybody, no matter how good you are. Whoever comes after him, that's why David Moyes was never gonna do anything, but the level that Alex Ferguson had, the place that where he had taken Manchester United, the place where he had taken us to, um, is just going to be something that's going to be very difficult for anybody to be able to replicate. I think this really shows how great Alex Ferguson was. The fact that no manager, all managers that have come after him, including experienced managers, because some people are now saying that, okay, Solskjaer needs to go, which I think must happen because I think he's out of his depth. I don't think he's good enough for the job because I don't see him as a tactically brilliant manager. What Solskjaer tries to do is more of towards the extent of playing the United way. But even when we had great managers, even when we had good managers, when we had managers like Mourinho, Van Gaal, those guys have work of experience. Those guys are tactical. They weren't able to get the job done for whatever reason, and that's the reason why. Because I like my fans to remember the reason why we got Solskjaer to begin with. The reason why we stuck with him to begin with was the set of results that we got right after we lost to Liverpool. I think we got him as right after Mourinho was sacked. We were able to beat PSG in a thriller. Solskjaer came in. There was a lot of ginger. A lot of that was really based on the fact that those players at that time, maybe they had some sort of resentment towards Mourinho. So once Mourinho left, there was this sense of freedom that they had, and they were really playing good football, expressive football, the so-called Manchester United way football, Man U DNA, all that talk, Man U. That's why Solskjaer was able to get a job. But from what we've seen so far, that is not the way we are going to get back to the glory days. We have to forget about this so-called Man United way. We need to move on from that because I'm telling you, that is something that I think only somebody as special as Alex Ferguson could bring out. That is for him. that is his own legacy. We need to stop thinking. We need to stop living in Ferguson days and Ferguson's time. We've gone to the level now where we need to get people in that have the ability to be all-rounders, that can be able to motivate the players, that can be able to, and at the same time, be tactically brilliant. Maybe that's what we have lacked. Maybe that's what we have not been able to. So Solskjaer, totally out of his depth when it comes to Man U. He doesn't have any level of, I don't know what Solskjaer's tactical ideology is. I don't really know what it is. Is it counter-attacking football? For a while, we're doing well when we're playing against the big teams, we counter-attacks. But then we go to a point where we're able to break people down. Then that's when we then got in, what's his name? Bruno Fernandes. And then for whatever reason, it seemed like we were improving. But it has now gotten to a point where that injection that came from Bruno Fernandes' brilliance. That's the ginger that he brought to the team, with his mindsets, with his creativity. He was able to put in some, make some passes and play in a certain kind of way that wasn't there before. I think that novelty has worn off. Even though we got in Ronaldo doesn't seem to be able to do anything. Doesn't seem to be able to perform. So what we need is somebody who can be an all-rounder, somebody who can do everything, somebody who is not just going to be good with the players. It's also going to know the job. And I think, if you ask me, based on the people that you're talking about at the moment, I'll probably go with Antonio Conte, because Conte has this very passionate demeanor about him, and he's also tactically knowledgeable. He's probably the person that I think can do the best job based on the people that we have. Because Zidane is great, but I think part of the reason why Zidane was able to do well was based on the fact that he was a club legend in. Besides the fact that he's tactically Zidane is a football genius. We know that he's a football genius, but we're not yet seeing if that can translate into Manchester United or any other team, but Real Madrid. I'm not saying he won't be an upgrade. Definitely, if he comes in, I would want him. But based on the people that we have now, I'll probably lean more towards Conte. Conte has a track record of winning in different places. He won in Italy for a long time. Came to England, won. He won again last season. So I'll prefer to see him. But with Solskjaer, what I'll say is he has done his own part. There's a level that he was. I don't think he was that much of a disaster overall. Because I think we were able to progress in a way. But when he came in, at least last season we finished second. It was competitive, but I think he has gotten to the level where he cannot move the team any forward anymore, because he just doesn't have the tactical skill, that's the tactical prowess. He may be a nice guy. The players may want to play for him, but I think even now, they've gotten to the level where they are bored of that. If you're a world-class player, you're playing with somebody who is maybe below par in that regard. Maybe after a while you get tired of wanting to be, give your best on an emotional standpoint. Maybe you also want to see some tactical things, So I think we need to get rid of him immediately. He needs to go. Probably, I think they are wasting too much time, especially the announcement by Absol. I've been waiting for the announcement since. I heard that Zidane had a meeting with Ferguson in a hotel in England. Maybe they're considering him. Whoever it is that comes in will be an upgrade. But at the same time, I'm saying this, man. I don't know. I think I was saying that as a joke. I don't know. We need some prayer warriors in Manchester United. I don't know why, because logically it seems to me like I'm attributing that to Ferguson's, to the shadow he has left behind, that nobody can fill it up. But we've had experience before with Mourinho, Mourinho wasn't. He may have had experience, but maybe he wasn't a good man manager. He fell out with Pogba. Even after defending Pogba for a long time, started picking on him. Okay, but it just seems to me like there's just something around Man U that at the moment maybe we just need some sort of, I don't know, maybe some prayers or things like that, because everything just keeps going bad all the time. So I don't know, man, but this guy needs to go. Solskjaer needs to go, and very fast, very, very fast. He has done his part.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate your take on this. Up, Mayu. Red Devil man for life, brother. You know, yeah, we've been
It
supporting
just
Red
dawned on
Devil
me
for
that you, it
for
just dawned on
ages.
me that you all, including
I mean,
Kelechi, all of you are Man U people. I feel for you
Chelsea
guys.
fans are like they are the happiest, bro. In terms of like, of course, you have to appreciate Chelsea though. Like the fact that Ibrahimovic, you know, the owner, always like anytime something is wrong, bro, he sack you, bro. He doesn't look. He doesn't look at you know, all this empathy and
Exactly.
sympathy and no.
The way they
I
got
mean,
rid of Alpha last season,
imagine a
they just
legend
got rid
like
of him. Sharp,
Lampard.
sharp.
This is
Sharp,
why.
sharp. What
Imagine
is
a
wrong with
legend
This is why.
Lampard.
By the time Newcastle become, you know, join the big six, bro, you're gonna be seeing love changes. You know, the Saudis are not going to tolerate any manager that doesn't do well. Don't you see how they sacked Steve Bruce? Like, you know, Steve Bruce that was really letting the Newcastle fans down and everything. You know,
or
like
leave Newcastle matter, Joe. Why are we talking about Newcastle?
I'm just
Leave
saying,
Newcastle
man,
matter,
we need proactive owners, bro. Proactive owners. You know, no nonsense owners. Like when you're not performing, they just because man, we keep relying on old glory, bro. Football has changed. Bro, and I think we're going to evolve with it. You know? Because Gary Neville is just playing on sentiments and saying, yeah, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a legend. Under Mourinho, this guy was blasting Mourinho like crazy, man. It's crazy. Double standard.
Is their boy, their friend, they played with him, they trained with him. So emotionally, it's kind of like, my clothes, like, they emotionally want their friends to do, that's a human factor. That's a human factor. But in reality, man, let's be real, man. Solskjaer was managing Molde. He managed Cardiff. Is now managing Manchester United. Like, it was an getting him was an
Imagine the league.
It was an emotional. Imagine the league.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Like it was like it's not of this caliber at all. He was able to
Just
come
like
in,
it was
able to
with
do well
Lampard to Chelsea.
Exactly. So he has gotten to a level where he doesn't need to look at it like if he really loves the football club. If you ask me, right, don't look at it as if the club has turned against you. You've done your best. It's not good enough. I know you have that competitive spirit because you're former player, so you may not want to take it that easily. But allow the change take its course. You've done your best. I respect what you did. I actually respect what Solskjaer did. I don't hate him at all. I'm not one of the Man U fans that have hated Solskjaer because every time I felt that Solskjaer should go, then he went on a good run of form. So after a while, I just said I'll stop saying he should leave. You know, but this is going into your roster. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of again. And we should not start thinking long term. We start looking at the future. This is a very critical point in our dispensation. We should try and change as soon as possible. So, I just think that I think he has done his best.
The fact again, I think that if you have a Bruce coaching Man U, or a Roy Keane, or a Paul Scholes, or a David Beckham, or of course the soldier we're talking about now, or even go back to an Eric Cantona, it would take almost forever before the club will let them off the job if they are having a poor run of form. Exactly. And that's because of the attachment.
Exactly.
The attachment to them being legends of the club. I think that's what is playing for Soldier so far. But if I were a Soldier, for the love of the club, because of course after the match he said, in spite of the result, he wasn't going to throw in the towel, he wasn't quitting. If I were a Soldier, for the love of the club, I think he should. Otherwise,
well, if he resign, he will lose the paycheck, bro.
Position. You guys are on the 7th position, no?
He will lose the paycheck, bro, if he resign. So he's not going to resign, bro. If they,
that's true.
He has already made a lot of money now.
Bro, he will not resign, bro. I made a lot of money, bro. I made a lot of money, bro. It doesn't matter, bro. Like that.
I'm not telling you. It's not as if he should resign,
bro. What's his name again? Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce has been coaching for over 20 years, right? He's been a coach for over 20 years, and yet he didn't resign when pressure mount on him. And now the Saudi owners of Newcastle had to pay him off. They paid over £8 million.
We'll be paying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
£8 million. To relieve him of his
And that's no joke.
duty. I'm telling you right now, bro. So that they will never resign, bro. He will never resign.
Why coaches include that in their contracts? Yeah. Exactly.
He will never resign. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate we discussing about this. By the way, HMI is not a Man U fan. It's me and Winky that is Man U fan. So you outsider. Yeah, we're the Man U fan, bro. Anyway, I cannot wait. But there's recent development now that Manchester United has spoken to the management of Antonio Conte. Bro, first time, they just came out 10 minutes ago. This is good right here. However, Zidane, I don't know if they want to take the star. I don't know, man. If they want to take the position, maybe he doesn't want to run it. Like, like if you're going to coach Man United, you have to have total control. Not like let the Glazers or the Ed Woodward and all his cohorts control you. Like, you never be effective as manager if you don't stick to your ground. Yeah. What do you say?
I think at the state where Man U is now, I'll prefer a Conte than a Zidane, not because Conte has better resume than Zidane. Those 3 back-to-back Champions League victory that Zidane has, I mean, no coach has gotten that. So that places Zidane on a very high pedestal. But Zidane was privileged to coach a Galacticos, a team that was all-rounded. The quality of players in Manchester United right now, they are good players. Individually, they are all good players. But you cannot compare their quality to the quality that Zidane was privileged to coach at Real Madrid when he had the triple Champions League victory. But for a Conte has proven time and again, and he even did it in his last assignment at Inter, to have the knack to take an average player. He still is an average player, but he churns out 100% performance while still being average. That's the kind of coach a Man U would need now. A coach who does not let the players rest on their oars while the game is ongoing. A coach who on the sideline is not a gentleman, is urging the players on. A coach whose body language tells the players that you better up your game, otherwise you're going to have an issue with me. Okay, a coach who is a tactician also. Zidane is a tactician, yeah, but Zidane doesn't have all of this mix that in Manchester United will be needing now. That's why I would favor a Conte, and I hope and pray that they get Conte, and you'll see some changes. I mean, imagine a coach who won the Scudetto at the La Liga, yet calling the bluff of the owners of the club. That's the kind of coach Man you should get now.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you for this. Stay tuned for Messi Banger right here. God bless you all.
I totally agree with you, man.
Shout out to Winky for coming in. We'll definitely get in touch tomorrow for sure. God bless you guys.
Take me as I am. Got a lot to give to you, girl. Take me as I am. Let everybody get into position, session time for collision, just in case anybody's asking, them call me Mr. Romantic, climb myself to make it rich. Righteous, let's say I did reach. Totally, you compliment me. Said now you in my eyes, don't stick.